Hello, Earth Angels, and welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited to be here with you this week. And if you're new to my page or the podcast, then welcome. It is not an accident that you're here. It's so divine. I really do call in souls that are ready to heal, to evolve, to step into their soul's purpose. Alignment Academy is a school for your soul to, grow and evolve. And I really believe that the more you heal yourself, the more you step onto that highest timeline and you're able to really just live the life that you're meant to live, like the life that God wants for you and the life that you want for you, which is both the same because you are God. Today we are doing something exciting. You guys know I am a Daddy Joe girl through and through. I love Dr. Joe's work. I have been to now 3 retreats of his. I have been doing his work for a year. And if you're new here, then let me just give you a little recap of my Joe Dispenza journey. I went through a terrible rock bottom around 2 years ago. And about, 8 months into that, I really started doing his work. I gave myself a little challenge where I was going to do 30 days of Joe Dispenza because I found one of his meditations on YouTube. I've actually done his meditations for years and years, but never consistently, like literally once every few months. And so I randomly found one of his YouTube meditations one morning when I was struggling. I did the meditation. It was the first time I felt better in years. And so I did his meditations for 60 days, actually. It wasn't 30 days. I did a 60-day challenge. I actually have an entire podcast episode recapping that challenge. It's called I Did Dr. Joe's Meditations for 60 Days. So go down and find it if you want. I can link it below as well. And the results were insane. I healed so much. I wasn't completely out of my rock bottom, but I was feeling a lot better. I also made so much money in my business. I literally created so much abundance for myself. I quantum leaped in so many ways. And so I did it for 60 days. And then the next 30 days, I stopped doing it as consistently and everything went back downhill again. I didn't make as much money. I was sad again. And so I said, you know what? Let me really just continue the experiment. And so the next time I did 30 days and then everything went back up. I felt better. I made more money again. I was like, you know what? I'm done with the experiment. I'm just going to do Dr. Joe every day. And so for over a year and a half now, I really have done Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, his work, almost every day, along with inner child, a lot of inner child work. I'm basically an inner work coach, so I'm obsessed with inner work, but my jam is really blending Dr. Joe's work with inner child work. And I always say that, if Dr. Joe's work isn't working and you're not manifesting, you probably have some deep inner child wounds that are really making you not feel worthy or kind of like leading to your unworthiness. That I think that the reason Dr. Joe's work works so well for me is because, since I was 17, I've been doing inner child work. I've been on this path for years. And because I've been doing so much inner child work is really a lot of worthiness work. It's the root of feeling worthy and being worthy. And when you clear all that gunk of unworthiness, you can kind of like just attune your vibration to where you want and you manifest things really quickly. And so with money, with friends, with love, with relationships, I can pretty much manifest things pretty quickly from just tuning into the vibration of what I want. And I love remembering that I'm the creator of my reality. And if you want to know if all of this stuff works, just seriously look at my life. I've manifested so many things with Dr. Joe's work. I've manifested this house that I'm sitting in. It's a beachfront apartment. That's a crazy price. I've manifested my beautiful Mercedes Benz that's sitting outside, that all the car people told me that I wasn't going to be able to get that car with that interior, with all the specs at that price. And I did. I 2 times my income last year without really changing much or even hiring a business coach. And all is due to inner child work, feeling worthy, and then really becoming that future self, becoming that version. The retreat I just got back from was a 5-day AFU. So you go to a week-long advanced retreat, and then after that, you can go to the AFUs, which are the advanced follow-ups. And this was my second AFU. I've been to 1 week long, 2 AFUs. This one was his longest AFU, so it was a full 5 days. It was in Cancun, and his retreats are energetically very tiring. I mean, you're up at like 5 a.m. every day, and you don't finish sometimes till 7 or 8 at night. And so it's a lot of meditating. It's long days. It's a lot of talking to people. It's just a lot of energy expenditure, but you are in a freaking vortex, a portal. I mean, it's just such a crazy experience. And, I'm not even going to say I recommend doing them, because I think that with spiritual experiences, If you feel called, then do it. If you don't, then it's probably not for you. Like, it's pretty intense. You're sitting in hours and hours. Like, there's multiple days where I meditated for 6 to 8 hours a day. You're doing walking meditation, sitting meditation. So it's definitely not for everyone. But if you are interested in hearing my experience, I'm going to be recapping some of my biggest takeaways from this retreat. Now, after 3 retreats, I can say I will continue to go back. And the reason I'm going to continue to keep going back to retreats is because, number one, the energy that you get yourself into, this vortex of beautiful energy, you are really able to handle a lot of these deep-rooted beliefs that are lingering in your unconscious because you're sitting in hours of meditation. You know, when I go, I'm typically very addicted to my phone. And because you are learning to just sit in nothing and focus for hours and hours and hours, the reset that it gives your brain is insane. And he shows you the science while you're there that your brain after looks like you just did a psilocybin trip, like your default mode network just gets completely turned off. You're able to just like become a new person. Like, you are a new person. There's new bacteria in your gut. There's new beliefs in your brain, and you just leave feeling like a new person. And I think that there's not a lot of experiences on this earth other than mushrooms and Joe Dispenza, which are my 2 favorite experiences to do, that leave you feeling like a completely new person. So I will continue to go back. I definitely think that it's just such a cool experience. And even though the teachings kind of feel like similar and the same every time, I always leave feeling like there's so many good takeaways and I hear new things and things just kind of hit different. The theme of this one was Know Thy Selves. And it was really about, we have all of these selves. We're multidimensional people. We're not, one of the things that he says is we're not linear beings living a linear life. We are multidimensional beings living a multidimensional life, meaning there's infinite versions of us. And at any moment, we can decide to be a new version of us, and we can actually tune into that potential, and we will actually experience that life. We will actually be experiencing a new version of us. And so that was kind of like the theme of the entire retreat, was Know Thyself. Now, I feel like the best way to kind of go through this is just to give you some high level notes or my biggest takeaways. So I'm just going to be reading some of my notes, kind of similar to the Michael Singer episode I did. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did an episode where I went to Michael Singer's Temple of the Universe, and he had some really great teaching. So I kind of just like read my notes from there. I'm going to make a quick assumption about you if you listen to Alignment Academy, the podcast, that ever since you were little, you just had this deep feeling that you were meant for big things in this world. You weren't here to be ordinary, but you were here to be a mover and a shaker. Hi, I'm Kristen, and same. Except for years, I was self-sabotaging because even though I felt in my soul that I was here to do extremely big things, I could not stop procrastinating, self-sabotaging, feeling massive amounts of imposter syndrome, and don't forget getting triggered as fuck every single day of my life. And honestly, I didn't know what to do. And then I found inner work. I found energy healing. I found all of the modalities that I still use today. The spiritual tools that I use feel like I found a hack to this universe. Like, the rules don't apply to me because I know how to shift my vibration. I know how to reprogram my subconscious mind. I know how to give myself any beliefs that I want to believe about the world, like money comes easy to me and the rules don't apply to me and I don't need a real job. These are all just beliefs that I believe about myself. If you're similar to me, you know you have a big mission, but you know it's also time to get out of your own way and heal your blocks for good so you can actually just take action on your mission. This is why I created Alignment Academy, the membership. Inside this membership, you are going to get everything from live coaching sessions with me monthly, all of my best-selling heartwork meditations and hypnosises. You're going to get all of my energy healing activations to do energy work on yourself anytime you want. Not to mention, as soon as you enroll, you get a library of 9 past masterclasses and 8 on-demand meditations. But the very best part is the people in the community. This is some of the most heart-centered, amazing humans I've ever come in contact with. Honestly, people have made friends in this group. They've met up in person in this group. It's the place to be. This is seriously the only space on the internet that weaves quantum manifestation, inner work, and business to help you quantum leap in your soul's growth and your business growth. If you're serious about healing, getting out of your own way, and taking massive action this year, then join with the link below. See you inside. One of the things that he truly talked about is that we don't only reincarnate from the past, we also reincarnate from the future by remembering our future. everything that we want to experience, there is a potential of that experience in the field. And by tuning into it, we actually are remembering our future and we're collapsing it into the present moment. There was also so much goodness about the unknown. And if you guys have been with me on the journey, you know I've had so much work on trusting the unknown and letting go of all my attachments in this life. I haven't let go of all my attachments, but I do try. I just realize how stupid I sound by saying I've just let go of all my attachments. I haven't, but that has been what I've needed to learn in the last year, because I did go through a gnarly breakup. I had no house. I let go of a lot of friends, all the things. I've had my fair share of rock bottoms on this earth. Okay, guys. And you do realize that the more you attach to really anything, this is my stuff now. This is not Dr. Joe, but the more you realize that the more you attach to things, the less happy you're going to be. And the more you realize that you don't own anything, you don't own anyone, and everything is fleeting. Every relationship is fleeting. Every moment is fleeting. Everything is fleeting. Truly, everything is fleeting. When you learn to not attach to things, like, the happier you're going to be. And non-attachment also means living in the unknown, like not needing to control your environment or your reality or whatever. Basically, I think the unknown is really hard for a lot of people. They're like, what's the unknown? How do I become comfortable in the unknown? And what you learn in hours of meditation is that the unknown is just living in the present moment. Think about it. When you're really present, like when you're fully present, you're not thinking about the future or the past. You're simply right here. The example that I want to give you, because I think it's going to be an example that all of us can relate to, is I want to think when you're one day, you might not be single right now, but we've all had that experience in college or out at a bar where we're like constantly like looking for the next person we want to talk to. We're like, oh my God, where's my next boyfriend? Is he here? Is he there? Blah, blah, blah. Where's my next girlfriend? Is he there? Where are they? So much so that we're not being present with who we're talking to. We're not being present with our friends. Or even if you're at a restaurant and you're like kind of anxious about who's coming in and who's coming out, we're trying to predict the next moment. We're trying to find the next moment. We're trying to control the next moment, and we're not in the present. But I also want you to remember a time where you meet someone so kismetly, you meet someone so synchronistically, and you probably were very present in that moment. You were probably just doing your thing with your friends and someone comes up to you, or you run into someone, or you run into them in the bathroom. I don't know. Whatever happens, it's like you couldn't plan that moment. You couldn't predict that moment even if you tried. Because even if you sat there and me and you tried to predict all the moments where you're going to meet your next best friend or your next partner or your next this, you would not be able to predict that moment. And that is the beauty of the unknown. Realizing that Source God is going to bring you what you want in a way that you least expect it. And when you're really dancing with the divine, you actually just let go of needing to control the next moment or trying to predict it, because you know that God's way is actually probably the best way ever. So it's actually complete surrender. And manifestation really is that beautiful intersection between, yes, intending what we want, but then fully surrendering it. And this was a really hard thing that I've realized lately, is that at the end of the day, life is more surrender than manifestation. Like, yes, we are creators. Yes, we can intend what we want. Yes, we need to be in the energy of what we desire, but it's definitely more about the surrender, because at the end of the day, we do the meditation, we do our little manifestation rituals, but what's after that? It's okay, I trust. It's okay, I'm going to live in the unknown now. Okay, I did the work that I need to do, right? So I've been really trying to master more surrender than manifestation in this phase of my life. It's like, there's nothing else to do. I'm really identifying with the new person, but now I just have to trust in God's timing and trust in the divine. And, he said this 100 times if you listen to his podcast, but the probability you're seeing the truth of reality is 0. You are not who you think you are. You are so multidimensional. There's more information in the immaterial than the material. And that's why a lot with his work, you're tuning into nothing. You're really sensing nothing, because there's so much rich energy in that potential of the quantum field, which is the nothing. And in the nothing, you find everything. You find all the potentials, and then you tune into it. And then, God brings it to you in the way that you least expect it. Source, God, whatever you believe in. Quick interruption to this episode, because I have to tell you something. And what I have to tell you is I'm literally freaking obsessed with doing energy work. This has been one of my favorite modalities that I've added to my spiritual toolbox to shift my energy really freaking quickly. And as you guys have learned in Alignment Academy, this is a vibrational based universe, meaning as your energy shifts, the reflections in your life also shift. People that you're attracting, the experiences that you're attracting, the money you make, literally everything shifts. In Alignment Academy, my membership, part of it is that there are guided energy works added to the portal every single month. And I really want you to be able to experience this energy work because, guys, it literally works so quick. Your reality shifts so quick. The testimonials have been insane inside of Alignment Academy. So because you're a listener of Alignment Academy, I'm offering you a free guided energy work session in exchange for rating and reviewing the podcast. All you have to do is follow my podcast Instagram at Alignment Academy Pod on Instagram. And then after you've rated and reviewed the podcast, just screenshot it, send me a DM on Alignment Academy Pod, and I'll send you the link to download your free guided energy work. During this energy healing session, we're going to be working on your confidence and your self-love. When you are filled with your own confidence and your own self-love, you are magnetic as fuck to the rest of the world. Magnetism is created when we are so filled up with love for ourselves. It's also created when we just really fuck with ourselves super hard. Like, think about really magnetic people. They're not asking other people to like them or validate them. They're just like, I really fuck with me. And if you want to too, then yay. And if not, then it's all good. I can't wait for you to try this energy healing. Please DM me and let me know how it goes. And now let's get back to the episode. Another really cool takeaway that I had from this time around was I've been having crazy synchronicities in my life, like running into people in the most random places, meeting people in very synchronistic ways, deciding to go for a walk in really random times, then running into a friend. And something that we went over is that the void is pure consciousness. And consciousness is simply awareness. And awareness is aware of what? Aware of everything, everyone, all at once, in all places. And so when something coincidental happens, it's not a coincidence, guys. It's a synchronicity. Because if Source God is aware of everything all at once, then it's aware of you. It's aware of that person. It's aware of exactly the things that you need to learn, exactly the experiences that you need to have. And at the end of the day, what's going to happen? You are going to have, if you're having a synchronicity, it was aware of all of that and it set it up because it's the energy that's creating all of this. It's the beautiful energy that creates worlds. And so I was just reminded, like, you know, sometimes you kind of think like, did God forget about me? Or like, is it really this or whatever? Is this really a sign? Yes, it's always a sign. It's always from you as source to you as the little human you are. And the more we pay attention to them, the more we like realize that we're on the right path. The other thing that I really got rooted into is just remembering the intelligence of the heart. You guys know I created heartwork. I love brain and heart coherence. Dr. Joe really got me into brain and heart coherence, but you know, he said the brain thinks, but the heart knows. And if you want to know the answer to something, you go to the great counsel, your heart, and you listen. You listen, you listen, you listen. The heart informs the brain, right? Like you put your attention on your heart and then the heart sends the information to the brain and then the brain knows from the heart. But what we try to do is we try to logic through things. We try to think through things and we're never really quite on point with it. When your heart is coherent, it creates spinning fields of energy and it sends into the brain, and we really just have to trust the heart. A lot of times we go to this person, we go to that person to try to find the answer when really you just need to go inside. You always know the answer to something. Even if you want to pretend like you don't know the answer, you know. I want you to really hear that. You know you need to quit that job. You know that that's not your path. You know that you maybe need to do whatever you need to do. You know you need to break up with that person, but our fears, our limiting beliefs, our scarcity, it makes us not want to do those things. And so if you want to really live in that highest timeline, you ask your heart and then you follow through and you do what needs to be done. And I think it's a beautiful blend when you do Dr. Joe's work with also inner child work, because inner child work is the thing that helps you clear those limiting beliefs, helps you feel safe in your body, helps you overcome that part of you that is scared. And so my question for you, my little homework for you on Alignment Academy today is like, what have you not been listening to from your heart? What intelligent, loving thing has your heart been telling you to do that actually is going to lead you into the unknown, right? The thing is we don't like to follow our heart because we're like, well, I don't know what's going to happen after that. But what we don't realize is that sometimes we're like, okay, yes, I want to trust the unknown. But the moment that we are forced to trust the unknown by breaking up with that person or moving or quitting the job, we freak out. But that's the juice, guys, is trusting the unknown. It's like we have to be in those uncomfortable situations to trust. This was actually something that I was talking to my mom about the other day because, I told you on one of the other episodes, like my mom really has been teaching me how to pray in a really beautiful way. I was talking to her one night and I was like, the hardest part about, doing the prayer is that trusting that now that I prayed that God is going to bring it to me. And she said, the beauty of this life is that you just go through the experiment. Like you pray so many times and then God answers your prayers that you realize that it always does work. And so it's kind of the same with the unknown. It's like you kind of have to go through it a couple times to realize that the unknown really never will let you down. And the unknown is a beautiful place to be. And it's a sacred place. But the reason it's so hard is because it requires such a deep trust in God. The other thing we really learned at this retreat and just like anchored in is like, if you want to be the mystic, if you want to be this mystical person that has these mystical experiences, number one, you trust the unknown. But the other thing is the mystic is loose. The mystic is fun. It's open. It doesn't take life too seriously. If you really believe that you were walking with God, if you really believe that you were creating your reality and you were just about to get served the next best experience on your adventure of life, you would be having the best time ever. You wouldn't be too worried about anything. You would be chilling, really. You wouldn't be too caught up in anything. You would just be chilling. You would be having a good time. You would be waiting for that next best experience. And so the mystic is happy where they are, always getting surprised to the unknown, excited for life and open. So where are you not excited for life? Where are you trying to control? And identity is everything. Who are you being in every moment? Are you being a victim or are you being a creator, which is loving, happy, loose, excited for life? And the mystic really falls in love with life because they know that there's always something better and God is always going to give them their next best experience. I love the emphasis too at the walking meditations to like walk as it. He always talks about like walk to your room as the abundant person you want to be. Walk from terminal A to B as the mystic, as that happy person, as the person who has everything that they desire. And it's something that I've really taken home from the retreat is like when I'm walking my dog now, I'm walking as the mystic. When I'm walking as the abundant person that has that many sales and has 10K followers on her YouTube and all the things that I'm currently manifesting. It's like, I already know that there's a potential and I'm already tuning into that. I don't need to know how it's going to happen because it's going to happen in the way that I least expect it. I just need to be that person in real life and assume that identity, and everything else is going to unfold. I know a lot of people might say, you've been to 3 retreats. Why are you going to go to more? Or, that seems excessive. But the thing is when I'm in those retreats, I feel like I get so much spiritual work done. It's like I hyperspeed my manifestations because I'm tuning into it and I'm giving that future of mine energy and I'm giving it my attention. And the more attention I give it, the more energy, and the more energy I'm giving it, the more it collapses into reality. And so that's why I love having these, like, I always talk about seasons of life. And this is a season I love, is those seasons of inner work. You guys know I've had a really intense year with a lot of inner work, but it's like, it's planting the seeds for the rest of my year. It's giving me all this energy and all this attention for my life to unfold from, Joe Dispenza and the mushroom trips and all of it. It's just such a beautiful unfolding of it all. And I think this is kind of where I'll end because I kind of just spoke to it, but he said infinite number of realities exist. And if you believe you're a creator, anything you put your attention on you will experience, and you can experience. And if you dream of possibilities, you will one day experience that dimension somewhere, sometime, somehow. And I don't know how long it's going to take, he said, but one day in eternity, you will end up there. And the more you tune in, the more you will experience it sooner. If you really knew that you had eternity because you are source, then what's the rush anyway, right? Your ego is going to say, I need it now and I want to experience it now. But your soul is like, I'm going to experience it all. So what's the rush? And the universe only gives us what we feel we're worthy to receive. So the biggest ingredient on this journey is you feeling worthy to receive. You feeling worthy to receive your new next experience, your new manifestation, your new life. And so worthiness is the source frequency. Worthiness is the answer. You are so worthy to receive. You are so worthy to have everything that you desire in this life. And I'm reminded that so I can share that with you. And I hope that you feel that one day. I hope you get to experience that one day, whether it's through mushrooms, through Joe, through inner child work, through another spiritual experience. We're here to experience everything. And yeah, it was such a beautiful experience. Hope you learned something from my notes. I feel like that's a really good place and a really good recap. I am just so lit up with life. I'm so excited for my next unknown experience. I hope you get to trust your unknown. And as always, if this podcast or YouTube video resonated with you, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, rate me 5 stars on Apple or Spotify. And I love you guys so much. I will see you in another episode. Bye.